Kia ora, ngā mai ki te whare. Welcome to The House, ko Louis Collins aho. When MPs stand up in the House and rattle off a string of facts and figures, it can sound like they've spent hours digging through data themselves, and sometimes they really have. More often though, their staff have helped prepare them for the debate, often with help from the Parliamentary Library. The Parliamentary Library, more than just the elegant building to the right of Parliament House, provides crucial research and collection services that support MPs and their teams. To uncover the often unseen source behind many of those facts and figures shared in the House, earlier this year I sat down with three of the people who keep the library running.
Kia ora, I'm Brent McIntyre. I'm the kaitiaki ki te kōrero, the manager of the Library Collections and Information team here at the Parliamentary Service.
And what actually is the Parliamentary Library?
Parliamentary Library is a 160-year-old institution of Wellington. We provide services to MPs and their staff, research and collections.
So it's not just a room with a bunch of our books?
No, Louis, it's not. We answer our over 7,000 requests from MPs and their staff every year. We service not only the MPs and their staff, but other agencies of Parliament, Parliamentary Council Office, Parliamentary Commission for the Environment, and the Office of the Clerk.
Why is it important for Parliament to have a library?
Libraries are integral in providing the best information to support democracy in this country.
So you mentioned you're responsible for a sort of whole host of teams within that library, kind of bigger organisation. What does each team actually do? Could you break that down a little bit more?
Sure. Within the library, we've got a library research team and a library collections team. I head up the library collections team, so our team purchase items for the library collections, manage a whole lot of subscriptions for over 30 different services, and about 4,000 different subscriptions to all of those services. We also do work on purchasing items that members and their staff might need for their work, and we support the research team and their work for the members and their staff.
So that's could be anything from an academic journal to a subscription to, say, newsroom.
Yeah, so we've got lots of those subscriptions to newsroom, various paywall newspapers, but a lot of academic articles as well, and books and monos. And
so being a library as well, you've probably got a huge archive of resources available. So if someone says we need something from politics in the 50s or 60s, are you able to provide them that?
Yeah, we've got about 110,000 items in our physical collection.
Wow.
And that goes back to when we were a gentleman's library in the 1850s and 60s. And at that time we had things like poetry and fiction, which we don't have anymore. We rely on the public libraries to provide a lot of that material. But now we've got a really rich collection of politics, legal materials, but also all the other things that members are interested in, environment, education, health, and a lot of government literature going back to the 70s, 60s as well.
And how can the public interact with the Parliamentary Library?
Parliament's got the Parliamentary Information Service, which is a gateway into the library service, and we answer requests from the public through that, usually requests that are about Parliament. Sometimes people can come and view our collections in the library building, but particularly for things like select committee reports and submissions. They can also, constituents can go to their MP and ask for particular requests, and often they'll get passed on to the library to do the research.
And speaking of research...
Kia ora. My name's Nicole. I manage the research services team, which sits in the Parliamentary Library.
And who are you actually doing the research for?
We do research for a variety of customers, so members of Parliament and their staff are our main clients, but we also do work for the corporate services for Parliamentary Service, for Office of the Clerk staff, PCO, so the Parliamentary Council Office, and the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment.
What's the scope of the research? How deep do you go?
So our mantra is ask us anything, and our members and their staff do. So we might provide background research for a members' bill that they're working on. We might provide facts and figures for notes for a speech in the House or a speech they're giving in a local community. We provide background information for select committee inquiries. So yeah, the scope's quite large.
And generally, do the MPs come to you directly, or is it sort of do they have like a research team within their MP's office that they would come to you?
It's a variety of things. So out of the kind of 7,000 or 8,000 requests we get in a year, around 1,000 of those come from the public. Around 1,000 of those are from members of Parliament directly, so them getting in touch, and the rest are mostly from their staff. So a lot of it comes through the political party research units, their members of staff, and also their electorate and community office staff. So there's a number of ways that MPs get information from the library.
Are there times that you're sort of busier than usual, like you mentioned the amount of requests that you get a year? Is there a part where it's like, there's a lot of bills going through, or there's quite an esoteric bill going through that people trying to get their head around, so you get lots of requests about that?
There are definitely ebbs and flows. Sitting weeks tend to be busier than non-sitting weeks. Around budget time tends to be quite a busy time. But yes, if there's a particularly controversial piece of legislation going through, we'll often have quite a few requests coming our way. And also, depending on what's going through select committees at any given point in time, again, that can generate more requests than other times.
So I'm sure what a lot of people would want to know is, how do your researchers do the research? What's their kind of background? How do they come up with, it's a lot of requests, right? And a lot of data to churn through. How do they do that?
So we have a team of around 30 researchers in the library, and real range of backgrounds. We don't have many traditional librarians in the research team anymore. We have, most people have generalist skills, so they can work across a whole variety of areas. Most people have topics of interest or areas they know more about, but as a general rule, we employ generalists, but we do have people with legal backgrounds, we've got people with economics backgrounds, but then on the same token we have people with history backgrounds. So that's kind of it's really about people who have a background in research, who are curious, who are good information finders, and then they come into the team. The team works together, so often on a piece of work, it's not one person working on it, there are a couple of people working on it. We use the collections heavily. We also obviously spend a lot of time on the internet finding answers. We only have access to publicly available information, so we don't have a secret stash of information we can draw on. And it's about finding the best information, collating data, making sure we're presenting that in a way that's really clear and concise.
And you have an attachment, well, each select committee has an attached researcher, is that right?
Yes, so that's an initiative that started in 2019. It started as a trial but has been really successful. So yes, the 12 subject select committees each have a researcher attached to them, and the idea is they're a conduit between the select committee and our research team to bring back any requests that come through. In comparison to government departments, we offer an impartial research service. That's one of our big selling points. We also work to our customers' deadlines, so we can turn around things much faster than some of the bigger departments can. And so yeah, I think in the 2023-24 financial year, we answered about 55 requests from select committees.
So you mentioned that time crunch that you might get
Yeah.
working to a client's deadline. How do you manage that? If, say, there's a debate the next day and they say, I need facts and figures and talking points for this debate in 12 hours, how do you manage that? We
get a variety of timelines. It could be any time from 10 minutes to a couple of weeks. We have a small team of 3 people specifically dedicated to managing workflow. So those people are triaging things as they come in. They're finding people with capacity to work on them. There are times where we get a request that's far too big for the time we're given, in which case we'd go back and talk to the person who put it in and say, well, we might be able to give you A and B in the next 10 minutes, but if you want C and D, it's going to take us an hour. So we kind of manage that way. So we always try and give the customer something, even if we can't give them everything in their time frame.
As Nicole mentioned, the research team has a range of people who specialise in different facets of research, like Caitlin.
Kia ora, I'm Caitlin. I'm the data advisor in the library research team.
data advisor. Tell me what that is.
So I work on a variety of research requests, as the title suggests, with a heavier data component. That could be data analysis, data visualization. It covers lots of portfolios and areas, but it definitely sits within that research element.
So you've been mainly talking about numbers, is that right?
Well, data can be anything. Yes, we predominantly think of numbers, but how we present that information to our clients is really what is important. Nicole mentioned the facts and figures that we put together. I sit and do a lot of that work as well.
Now, you're going to take me through a debate pack. Tell me about what they are.
Yes, so Debate Pack is a product that the library produces. It collates all available information on a bill. We create these debate packs when a bill is introduced and when it's going in for its second reading. We put together all the background information that's available, so that is regulatory impact statements, any discussion documents, department statements. We also put together the commentary on the bill, whether that's legal commentary, stakeholder commentary, ministerial statements, political party statements, whatever's available on the bill at the time, we will put into a pack that's given to the MPs and their staff. It provides them a good starting point for debate notes, that kind of thing. And they are a living document, so as I said, we update them when they're going in for second readings, when they come back from the select committee, that information gets added in, and it's just a really useful tool for MPs and their staff to know what's happening with the bill and what's being said at the time about it.
So when the public are watching Parliament TV and they see an MP stand up in the House and rattle off all these statistics and data, that's sometimes not coming from them, that's sometimes coming from you and your team, right?
It could be. It could very well be coming from our team.
People like reading short documents, they don't like reading waffle. How do you refine it so it's just what they do need to know, the essentials?
With the debate packs, because it's a very targeted product and it's around a specific bill, that sort of carries quite naturally throughout the document. Headings are very important, content pages are very important to know what's in there. Some bills have a lot more information on them than others, and so really it's keeping it as organised as possible within that product to make it easier for MPs to find what they're looking for. We tend to lay them out. We give them the full text of all of the comments and documents that are available, and then they can find from there what they're needing.
So that includes sort of the media perception or the public perception of the idea of the bill?
Yep, so we also include a selection of media articles on the bill. If anything has been said, that could include public perception of the bill. As we mentioned, we're impartial. We provide all commentary, whatever that commentary is. It's just giving a really good picture of the information that's available at the time.
How would you approach collating data and facts and figures and information?
So with the debate packs especially, we have a pretty set method of how we put those together. Purely through experience, we have a set of guidelines for our researchers to follow of places to find that information, the legal websites to go to, which news sites to go to have a look for that information, where they can find all the discussion documents, all of that sort of thing. So we follow a very set process for putting those together. That all gets collated by a researcher and then gets reviewed by someone else in the team before it gets sent out to the MP and all of their staff.
So you're not having researchers go on some random blog that has like 3 views?
No, we try not to with those debate packs. As I said, it's a very set process of putting those together.
That was Caitlin, Nicole and Brent from the Parliamentary Library. I te whakarongo koe ki te whare. You've been listening to The House, a program made with funding from Parliament's Office of the Clerk. Mā te wā.